say with a smile, but we say it. And welcome to today's edition of Art is the Church of God the Creator, which also we say that with a smile, but we say it because we mean it on some sense, in whatever sense that we can. Despite the big G word in their podcast title, today we're going to be looking at a practice in a non-theistic tradition, that is to say Buddhism. I'm a Buddhist person, and when I use Western theological language, such as G for God and so on and so forth, I look at Western theological concepts and belief systems through a lens of my Buddhist training, practice, and meditation, and also through the secular language of the Western Enlightenment and classical tradition. So I look at the Western theological religious traditions and the classical traditions coming from ancient Greece and the secular traditions coming from the European Enlightenment and the Buddhist. I view them as a set of interchangeable languages, and we try to translate terms into each other. So last few weeks we read through the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and I was giving a secular interpretation of the 5 Buddha families in terms of secular modern Enlightenment physics as the 5 states of matter, and the 5 classical elements: earth, water, air, fire, and space as solid, liquid, gas, radiation, and background space, sort of the vacuum field, and the 6 realms of rebirth, for me, is a social teaching. When the Tibetan Book of the Dead says that the optimal realm of rebirth is the human realm, I think the human realm, which is marked by challenges but impermanent and so forth, is that of ordinary people, the vast majority of people on planet Earth who are neither in abject misery or starving or imminent death, but who are not wealthy or affluent or either. Sort of, you can say the vast global working class, middle class. Whereas the jealous God realm, I view the 6 realms as social teaching. That according to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, a fortunate rebirth is in the human realm or in a God realm. But there are 6 realms of rebirth, according to the Tibetan Book of the Dead. There's the human realm, right, which is marked by impermanence, but also by the ability to study Dharma. There is the God realm, which I mentioned, which is the most privileged realm, and I interpret my secular interpretation of the God realm is the global upper class, essentially is the global oligarchy, is the billionaire class, which is that there are unique privileges that accrue to being born into that billionaire class, but there's also a unique and very dangerous fragility that goes along with that. According to the teaching, the God realm can be very productive if one uses it while one is in it, but when one starts to lose that status, it plummets down into a hell realm. So, as I said, I view the God realm as analogous to being born into a oligarchy billionaire class. I view the hell realm as being born into a situation of unmitigated suffering, those who are born into war zones, like in the current wars in Palestine, or in in Africa and Sudan, the Congo, or those who are born into famine in places which are famine-stricken. Those people who are born into misery, pain, and suffering, facing imminent death and pain. That is a hell realm, absolutely. And let me finish with my analogies of the 6 realms of rebirth. The human realm is ordinary existence for the vast majority, the vast global majority. The God realm is the privileged existence for the 0.0000001% of billionaires on planet Earth. Perhaps the 4,000 to 5,000 richest individuals on planet Earth and their immediate families. The hell realm is for the many millions who are born and from their whole lives are marked by suffering and imminent death, and with a sense of inescapability. The other realms are those are the 3, and then the other 3 realms. There's the animal realm, which of course is animals, which is to say non-conscious beings, but also for human beings who live their whole lives in a purely reactive, non-introspective state. And that includes very, very wealthy individuals. There are many wealthy individuals, even billionaires, who train themselves to be non-introspective and therefore to be purely reactive and to purely be creatures of instinctive reaction with no forethought and no afterthought. That is animal realm existence. If you have no metacognition, looking into your own thought process is metacognition. I don't want to throw around language, but being aware of your own thought process. So that is introspection. Human beings are uniquely capable of metacognition. Other animals have problem-solving abilities and emotions and stuff, but as far as we can tell, human beings are the only animals, with the possible exception of certain primates, that are capable of actually reflecting on their own thought process. So this is one of the characteristics which makes us uniquely human and which we need to celebrate. And if we do not cultivate that, I think it can be said metaphorically but accurately that one is living an animal realm existence, just going from satisfying desires for food, shelter, reproductive, and so on and so forth. Okay. So, in other words, just living your one's entire life on the level of the subconscious drives of violence, aggression, oblivion, and reproduction, and presumably the survival of the unconscious, autonomic, nervous, heartbeat, breath, and so on and so forth. And those 2 aspects, not really even moving to the level of reason, emotion, or anything like that, or perception in the non-dual sense. The other realms, besides the animal, but human, so one realm is human, one realm is God, one realm, the third realm is hell, fourth realm is animal. The other 2 realms are the jealous gods and the hungry ghosts. And again, understood in secular terms, what is the hungry ghost realm? The hungry ghost realm is, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, is a state of perpetual dissatisfaction, of constant hunger. And the archetype of that, of course, is drug addiction, substance abuse, where there's a constant sense of unfulfillable. So addictiveness, sort of uncontrollable compulsivity, which is completely anhedonic, which is basically completely unpleasurable, but just for striving at a maintenance situation. So in secular terms, everyone who is completely in an uncontrolled and untreated sort of substance addiction trap is in the hungry ghost realm in that sense. But really any type of completely neurotic, unfulfillable state of desiringness. So I think, honestly, it's not simply substance abuse. I think it is rampant consumerism, the desire to constantly buy more, and so on and so forth. This desire of unfulfillable acquisitiveness, particularly among those who can't achieve it. For people like lower income people, but who want endless material things. I think that is also a hungry ghost realm. I think a hungry ghost realm also applies to people who are trapping themselves in dualistic concepts of romantic idealization, who feel that they are not complete in and of themselves, that they must have a certain type of romantic partner in order to feel complete and be fulfilled, who go around feeling, who do not feel any completion within themselves. So actually the hungry ghost realm is endemic, and it is advertising is designed to provoke that. So modern consumerism and advertising is basically designed to take the vast majority of people in the human realm and to put them into the hungry ghost realm, which is a negative mode of rebirth. The positive modes of rebirth, according to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, are to be born either as a normal struggling human, or in a god realm, but not in an animal realm where there's no introspection and no meditation, not in a hell realm where there is constant pain and misery and imminent death, and not in a hungry ghost realm where instead of contemplation and meditation, where there is constant fixation on imaginary unfulfillable needs. The hungry ghost is actually surviving. The hungry ghost could be a human being, and just sort of, but instead is has a mental set of prerequisites for satisfaction or happiness which can never be met. So it's an archetype of neurosis and addiction. And finally, the sixth realm, which is viewed as not a good mode of rebirth, is positioned between the human realm and the god realm, the jealous god realm. The jealous gods, the titanic figures who are consumed by aggression wanting to achieve the highest realm of the god realm. So that would be the global upper middle class, which is constantly trying to break into the global oligarch class, which you could say the centimillionaires who are trying to break into the billionaire class. And this is viewed as extremely destructive, that the jealous gods wage sort of materialistic warfare and are, basically willing to destroy the world in order to achieve that supreme level, right? So now, since we don't live in medieval monarchies anymore, there's basically on this planet, virtually every member of the oligarch class is also a member of the jealous god realm. So we have our current god realm is also a very destructive jealous god realm. There are very few people who are actually living in the what would be analogous to the Tibetan Book of the Dead's god realm. Perhaps members of hereditary royal families like the British royal family, although we don't know how they are behind closed doors. Perhaps that's not the best example, but we could use our imagination. And we might think of hereditary constitutional monarchs, in peaceful societies as being examples of sort of that god realm. That could be very productive if that is an enlightened monarch who is contributing to culture, using that wealth and status to promote art and culture and well-being throughout society. That could be an archetype of the enlightened monarch. And there have been all sorts of examples throughout history. Frederick the Great, and so on. And Queen Christina, we can think of many other examples like that. Okay, so that is my secular interpretation of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and the five Buddha fields of the five Buddha realms, and sort of the Daikini as and the five cardinal points as representing five states of matter, and the six realms of rebirth as a social teaching, saying that we should do everything in our power to make sure that every human being has a decent, normal human life, and that those who are born into extreme wealth are able to manifest enlightened behavior as sort of enlightened monarchs. And we should do everything in our power to eliminate or minimize the existence of people in hell realms who are dealing with horrible violence, privation, suffering, famine, imminent death. And that is to say, in zones of war and conflict and famine. We should do everything in our power to lift human beings out of an animal realm existence, that is to say, a non-introspective, a non-contemplative, purely subsistence level of satisfying, physical wants and needs. And we should do everything in our power to get people out of a hungry ghost realm of endless addictive consumerism and basically negative self-image, which is constantly projecting into external demands and trapped in a constant dualism. And we should do everything in our power to eliminate the jealous God realm, which destroys the planet and destroys democracy through the endless aggressive desire to achieve the godlike realm of the enlightened monarch. Okay, so interesting questions. If we take examples of enlightened monarchs from the past, like Frederick the Great, are there any enlightened monarchs today? I don't know. Interesting question. I guess the only enlightened monarchs of today would be the anti-oligarchs. Perhaps one could argue that someone like George Soros, who might be using his wealth to promote democracy, that might be an FDR is the classic anti-oligarch in American history. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was born into billionaire wealth and power, but he used that against the interests of oligarchs. He used that to promote the democracy and well-being for the vast majority of Americans, for working class Americans. So are there any FDRs today? Are there any actual anti-oligarchs, and how are they manifesting? That would be an interesting question for another time. That brings us to today's topic. Today is Sunday, April 5th. It is Easter Sunday in the West, in the Western calendar. The Easter is next Sunday. But I'm not going to be addressing Easter directly. Today is the anniversary of the death of one of my dearest poetry teachers, Allen Ginsberg. But yesterday is the anniversary of the death of Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche, who was my first meditation teacher and my first poetry mentor. And he died April 4th, 1987, at a tragically young age of 45. And today I'm going to share a poem that he composed in 1968, which was written in Tibetan and translated into English simultaneously by Chögyam Rinpoche, Trungpa Rinpoche, in collaboration with Richard Arthur, who was also a friend of mine and also a mentor, also now sadly deceased. So in honor of the commemoration of the anniversary of Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche, and also in commemoration of Richard Arthur, I'm going to lead us through a reading of this poem, which was composed and translated in 1968 in Bhutan, called the Sadhana of Mahamudra. In the Buddhist tradition, the commemoration of the death of a venerated teacher is called a Parinirvana. or a commemoration of the Nirvana enlightenment or final enlightenment. So today's episode is entitled "The Parinirvana of Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche," and we're honoring this by reading through his great poem, "The Sadhana of Mahamudra," and we're going to do this. We're going to read this out loud. So download the text and read along with me. I'm also going to read the instructions, and I might give a couple of words afterwards. So let's just jump into it. If you have your text in front of you, on the front page, there is a reproduction of the Tanka of Karmapakshi as a wrathful form of the third Karmapa. And okay. So let's just get into it. And again, I will read not only the text, but the instructions and the commentary so that we can do it all together. Just sit in a chair or sit in meditation, breathe, maintain posture, pay attention to the sounds of the vowels and the consonants as they come out of your mouth, feel the energy of that, and follow the visualizations, follow the instructions, and enjoy. Okay. The sadhana of Mahamudra, which quells the mighty warring of the three lords of materialism and brings realization of the ocean of siddhas of the practice lineage. This is the darkest hour of the dark ages. Disease, famine, and warfare are raging like the fierce north wind. The Buddha's teaching has waned in strength. The various schools of the Sangha are fighting amongst themselves with sectarian bitterness. And although the Buddha's teaching was perfectly expounded, and there have been many reliable teachings since then from other great gurus, yet they pursue intellectual speculations. The sacred mantra has strayed into Bun, and the yogis of Tantra are losing the insight of meditation. They spend their whole time going through villages and performing little ceremonies for material gain. On the whole, no one acts according to the highest code of discipline, meditation, and wisdom. The jewel-like teaching of insight is fading day by day. The Buddha's teaching is used merely for political purposes and to draw people together socially. As a result, the blessings of spiritual energy are being lost. Even those with great devotion are beginning to lose heart. If the Buddhas of the three times and the great teachers were to comment, they would surely express their disappointment. So, to enable individuals to ask for their help and to renew spiritual strength, I have written this sadhana of the embodiment of all the siddhas. The sadhana is in three parts. First, let the mind remain uncontaminated by the 8 worldly concerns. You must relax and stay in a quiet place with a good atmosphere to rest the mind on the great self-existing mandala of apparent phenomena and to take the refuge. Namo, earth, water, fire, and all the elements, the animate and the inanimate, the trees and the greenery and so on, all partake of the nature of self-existing equanimity, which is quite simply what the great wrathful one is. In the spontaneous wisdom of the Trikaya, I take refuge with body, speech, and mind, in order to free those who suffer at the hands of the three lords of materialism and are afraid of external phenomena which are their own projections. I take this vow in meditation. Namo, earth, water, fire, and all the elements, the animate and the inanimate, the trees and the greenery, and so on, all partake of the nature of self-existing equanimity, which is quite simply what the great wrathful one is. In the spontaneous wisdom of the Trikaya, I take refuge with body, speech, and mind, in order to free those who suffer at the hands of the three lords of materialism and are afraid of external phenomena, which are their own projections. I take this vow in meditation. Namo, earth, water, fire, and all the elements, the animate and the inanimate, the trees and the greenery, and so on, all partake of the nature of self-existing equanimity, which is quite simply what the great wrathful one is. In the spontaneous wisdom of the Trikaya, I take refuge with body, speech, and mind, in order to free those who suffer at the hands of the three lords of materialism and are afraid of external phenomena which are their own projections. I take this vow in meditation. I said that 3 times. Now, meditate in that great simplicity which is beyond conceptions, and see through the complexities of duality in which apparent phenomena and the self are imagined to be separate. The undercurrent of thoughts, with all their pettiness and doubt and fear, all these must be overcome with that great assurance and fearless certainty which is the transcendental element of the voice of Manjushri, Mikyo Dorje. So rouse that insight. Be decisive. Know what is. See clearly. These are the three kinds of confidence. Be decisive. Know what is. See clearly. These are the three kinds of confidence. The spontaneous Mahamudra mandala is now created from the wisdom of the fourth Abhisheka. This will be clarified by the following words. Hum, hum, hum. In the boundless space of suchness, in the play of the great light, all the miracles of sight, sound, and mind are the five wisdoms and the five Buddhas. This is the mandala which is never arranged but is always complete. It is the great bliss, primeval and all-pervading. Hum. It is boundless equanimity which has never changed. It is unified into a single circle beyond confusion. In its basic character there is no longer any trace of ignorance nor of understanding. Nothing whatever, but everything arises from it. Yet it reveals the spontaneous play of the mandala. Hum, hum, hum. My whole being is Dorje Trollo, and my form is Karma Pakshi. My speech is Mikyo Dorje, and my mind is Rangjung Dorje. With that unwavering conviction, fearlessly enjoy the Mahamudra and attain the experience of Maha-ati. Hum, hum, hum. In the state of non-meditation, all phenomena subside in that great graveyard in which lie buried the complexities of samsara and nirvana. This is the universal ground of everything. It is the basis of freedom and also the basis of confusion. Within it, the Vajra anger, the flame of death, burns fiercely and consumes the fabric of dualistic thoughts. The black river of death, the Vajra passion, turbulent with massive waves, destroys the raft of conceptualization to the roaring sound of the immeasurable void. The great poisonous wind of the Vajra ignorance blows with all-pervading energy like an autumn storm and sweeps away all thoughts of possessiveness and self like a pile of dust. Whatever you see partakes of the nature of that wisdom which transcends past, present, and future. From here came the Buddhas of the past. Here live the Buddhas of the present. This is the primeval ground from which the Buddhas of the future will come. This is the heavenly realm of the Dakinis, the secret charnel ground of the blazing mountain. But you won't find ordinary earth and rocks here, even if you look for them. All the mountains are Buddha Lochana, who is the all-pervading wisdom of equanimity and unchanging stillness. This is the realm in which the distinctions between meditation and the post-meditation experience no longer occur. In this fearless state, even if the Buddhas of the three times rise against you, you will remain in the indestructible Vajra nature. The water which flows here is the Buddha Mamaki, who is the lake of the mirror-like wisdom, clear and pure, as though the sky had melted. Here is the joyous river, which is the transcendent form of the 8 kinds of consciousness. It flows into the great purity which goes beyond clean and unclean. In the various parts of the charnel ground can be seen the terrifying trees which are the protecting Mahakalis, Rangjung Gyalmo, Dorje Subdrukma, Tusoma, and Ekajati. In these trees, vultures, ravens, hawks, and eagles perch, hungry for meat and thirsting for blood. They represent the concept of good and evil. Until you stop clinging to this concept, the Mahakalis will continue to manifest as friendly goddesses and harmful demons. Various animals roam about, tigers, leopards, bears, jackals, and dogs, all howling and jumping up and down excitedly. These represent the different kinds of perception. Here, too, are the chudans of the awakened state of mind, where the great yogis live. They represent the supernormal powers which need not be sought. In the middle of this heavenly realm is a huge rock mountain which arose from the corpse of the Rudra of ego. It is triangular in shape and it pierces the skies. It is dignified and awe-inspiring and radiates the blue light of Vajrasattva. On top of this mountain is the red triangle which can accommodate all apparent phenomena and the whole of existence. This is the primeval ground where the question of samsara and nirvana does not arise. It is the beginning and the end of everything. The triangle radiates the blazing red light of inner warmth and compassion. Above the triangle is a beautiful flower, 100-petaled lotus in full bloom, exuding a delicate scent. It is the lotus of discriminating wisdom. Here is the moon of great bliss and skillful means, and here is the sun of wisdom and shunyata. Hum! The sonorous voice of silence is heard. From it appears the rainbow body of wisdom. This is the personification of the body, speech, and mind of all the Buddhas. He is the self-born teacher, the Lord of the Harukas, Padma Totrang, the Lama whose power extends over all apparent phenomena and the whole of existence. He is Karma Pakshi, in whom are unified the unchanging mind of the Guru, the wisdom of the Yidam, beyond waxing and waning, and the protectors, the confused thoughts which have returned to nakedness. He is dark red in color, symbolizing the oneness of everything within compassion. He is inseparable from peacefulness, and yet he acts whenever action is required. He subdues what needs to be subdued. He destroys what needs to be destroyed, and he cares for whatever needs his care. His anger, devoid of hatred, is as fierce and terrible as if the three worlds were on fire. His presence is overwhelming. His three eyes of wisdom are bloodshot and stare in all directions. They radiate light, outshining the sun and the moon. His expression is wrathful, and he bites the lower lip. He has a black triangular beard, shiny and twisted into a point, emitting sparks of fire. In his right hand, raised to the heavens, he holds a 9-pointed dorje of meteoric iron, emitting a storm of red sparks, each in the form of the letter Hum. Thus he subdues spiritual pride. In his left hand he holds a purba, also of meteoric iron, emitting a shower of sparks in the form of thousands of mahakalas. The purba pierces through the heart of seductive passion. He wears the 3 robes of a bhikshu, signifying the accomplishment of discipline, meditation, and wisdom. He is the originator and master of all Buddha activity. Hence he wears the black crown, bright with gold and blazing with unceasing light, emitting a steady stream of discs of light in 5 different colors, which are the 5 Buddhas. He stands on a dakini in the form of a pregnant tigress, with his right leg bent and left leg extended in the Haruka posture. Even the thought of him will destroy the mountain of conceptualizations. The sight of him dries up the ocean of dualistic clingings. He is immersed in flames which radiate the intense heat of compassion. In his forehead center is the unchanging form of Vairocana, who is Tusum Khenpa, the Dharmaraja of the 3 worlds, clad in bhikshu robes, with his hands in the meditation posture, holding a dorje. He has white hair and a thin, dark face. His expression is wise and peaceful. He wears the black crown ornamented with a gold dharma chakra which sends out rays of light. He is seated cross-legged on the back of an elephant. In the throat center of Karma Pakshi is Mikyo Dorje, the Lord of Speech, the unceasing voice of Amitabha. He is of orange color. He wears a tiger skin around his waist and a shawl of human skin around his shoulders. He wears ornaments of bone and jewels. In his raised right hand he holds the sword of wisdom which cuts off the root of the universal unconscious. In his left hand, level with his heart, he holds the vessel which contains the treasures of the Dharma. His face radiates friendliness. One glimpse of it suffices to open the door of confidence. The thought of him awakens memory. As the Lord of the Padma family, he wears the black crown, ornamented with a golden lotus radiating the red light of Amitabha. He is seated on a white lion. In the heart center of the great wrathful one is the king of the Tathagatas, Rangjung Dorje, the Vajrasattva nature of never-ending awareness. He is blue in color with serene and friendly face, expressing the state which transcends the boundary between meditation and non-meditation. By a glimpse of his face, the wisdom of the mind transmission is established in one's heart. His 3 eyes gaze into fathomless space. He has achieved the highest state of simplicity and is therefore seen naked, seated cross-legged, with hands in the meditation posture, holding a skull cup filled with Amrita. He is the king of kings and possessor of the indestructible Vajra Abhisheka, and therefore wears the black crown, bright with gold and ornamented with the Vajra. The blue light of Samanta Bhadra, the all-good, shines from the crown in the primordial state in which neither liberation nor confusion has ever arisen. Around Karma Pakshi, a great host of the Buddhas and the Sangha, together with the utterance of Dharma, fills the sky. They are surrounded by the Dharmapalas and Dakinis. The The sound of hum and ah and pot shakes the sky. It is as though all the musical instruments of the universe are being played simultaneously. Whatever you see is the form of Karma Pakshi run wild. Whatever you hear is the voice of Karma Pakshi let loose. Whatever you think is the thought of Karma Pakshi unleashed. In the spontaneously existing state, where meditation is effortless, all movements are the Vajra dance, and all sound is the Vajra music. It is the great Guru Mandala. Note, in this way, rest the mind in the Mahamudra of devotion, with great trust and single-mindedness. One's mind should be free from pettiness and doubt. Here follows the supplication. O Karmapa, Lord and knower of the three times, O Padmakara, Father and protector of all beings, you transcend all coming and going. Understanding this, I call upon you. Give thought to your only Son. I am a credulous and helpless animal who has been fooled by the mirage of duality. I have been fool enough to think that I possess my own projections, so now you, my Father, are my only refuge. You alone can grasp the Buddha state. The glorious copper-colored mountain is within my heart. Is not this pure and all-pervading naked mind your dwelling place? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see it. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see it. The joy of spontaneous awareness which is with me all the time. Is not this your smiling face, O Karma Padmakara? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see it. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see it. At glorious Taksang, in the cave which can accommodate everything, samsara and nirvana both, the heretics and bandits of hope and fear are subdued, and all experiences are transformed into crazy wisdom. Is not this your doing, O Dorje Trollo? Although I live in the slime and the muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. The corpse, bloated with the 8 worldly concerns, is cut into pieces by the knife of detachment, and cut up as the feast of the great bliss. Is not this your doing, O Karma Pakshi? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. In the boundless space of non-meditation, he who performs the great dance of Mahamudra puts a stop to thoughts, so that all acts become the acts of the Guru. Is not this your doing, O Tusum Khenpa? Although I live in the slime and the muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. When the current of thoughts is self-liberated, and the essence of Dharma is known, everything is understood, and apparent phenomena are all the books one needs. Is not this your doing, omniscient Mikyo Dorje? Although I live in the slime and the muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. The kingdom of no dharma, free from concepts, is discovered within the heart. Here there is no hierarchy of different stages, and the mind returns to its naked state. Is not this your doing, O Rangjung Dorje? Although I live in the slime and the muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. The Father Guru, the embodiment of all the siddhas, is all-seeing and all-pervading. Wherever you look, his transparent body is there, and the power of his blessing can never be diminished. Although I live in the slime and the muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see his face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see his face. Living as I do in the dark age, I am calling upon you because I am trapped in this prison without refuge or protector. The age of the 3 poisons has dawned, and the 3 lords of materialism have seized power. This is the time of hell on earth. Sadness is always with us, and unceasing depression fills our minds. The search for an external protector has met with no success. The idea of a deity as an external being has deceived us, led us astray. Counting on friends has brought nothing but sorrow and insecurity. So I have no other refuge but you, Karmapakshi, the lotus-born. Think of us poor, miserable wretches. With deep devotion and intense longing, I supplicate you. The time has come for you to arouse yourself and do something. The tradition of meditation is waning, and intellectual arguments predominate. We are drunk with spiritual pride and seduced by passion. The Dharma is used for personal gain, and the river of materialism has burst its banks. The materialistic outlook dominates everywhere, and the mind is intoxicated with worldly concerns. Under such circumstances, how can you abandon us? No, the time has come when your son needs you. No material offering will please you, so the only offering I can make is to follow your example. Chant the following as a celebration of identification with the Guru. When the wild and wrathful father approaches, the external world is seen to be transparent and unreal. The reasoning mind no longer clings and grasps. It is wonderful to arrive in your domain in the pure land of the blazing mountain, where every experience is full of joy. Hey, ho, the happy yogi! Every movement of the mind becomes bliss and emptiness. All polarity disappears when the mind emerges into nakedness. This is the mandala in which the six senses are self-liberated. On seeing your face, I am overjoyed. Now pain and pleasure alike have become ornaments which it is pleasant to wear. The experience of joy becomes devotion. I am drunk with all-pervading blessings. This is a sign of the merging of mind and Guru. The whole of existence is freed and becomes the Guru. When such blessings descend, your son's depression is entirely liberated into blissfulness. Thank you, great Karmapa. Thank you, Father Padmakara. There is no separation between teacher and disciple. Father and son are one in the realm of thought. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that the Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Repeat these four dharmas of Gampopa again and again. One should try to give birth to the devotion of Mahamudra by having complete trust in the Guru. When the sense of devotion becomes very strong, then especially one should realize that the Guru is not external. That is to say, when a flash memory of the Guru arises, the mind becomes relaxed, loose, and opened out. When you relax in meditation inseparable from the memory of the Guru, the right atmosphere is created and the mind becomes clear and naked. Sometimes, in order to make desires and attachments part of the path, you may perform the following offering. To the crazy wisdom form of the Buddhas of the three times, the unified mandala of all the siddhas, Dorje Trollo Karmapakshi, I make this supplication. Desire, hatred, and other hindrances are self-liberated. To the boundless rainbow body of wisdom, Padmakara Karmapakshi, the Haruka who, untouched by concepts, pervades all existence, I make this supplication. Whatever is seen with the eyes is vividly unreal in emptiness, yet there is still form. This is the true image of Tusum Khyempa, whom now I supplicate. Whatever is heard with the ears is the echo of emptiness, yet real. It is the clear and distinct utterance of Mikyo Dorje, whom now I supplicate. Good and bad, happy and sad, all thoughts vanish into emptiness like the imprint of a bird in the sky. This is the vivid mind of Rangjung Dorje, whom now I supplicate. The animate and the inanimate are the mandala of the glorious Mahasiddha, which no one can change. It remains impressive and colorful. This mandala now I supplicate. The hope of attaining Buddhahood and the fear of continuing to wander in samsara, doubt that wisdom exists within one and other dualistic thoughts, these are my feast offering. Food, wealth, companionship, fame, and sensual attachments, all these I offer for the elaborate arrangement of the mandala. Wantingness, desire, and passion I offer as the great ocean of blood which comes from the killing of samsara. Thoughts of anger and hatred I offer as the amrita which intoxicates extreme beliefs and renders them inoperative. All that arises within, wandering thoughts, carelessness, and all that is subject to ignorance, I offer as the great mountain of Torma ornamented with the 8 kinds of consciousness. Whatever arises is merely the play of the mind. All this I offer, filling the whole universe. I offer knowing that giver and receiver are one. I offer without expecting anything in return and without hope of gaining merit. I make these offerings with transcendental generosity in the Mahamudra. Now that I have made these offerings, please grant your blessings so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessings so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessings so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessings so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Next comes this special supplication and taking of Abhisheka. This is composed by Guru Rinpoche himself. Hum, hum, hum. In the cave of Taksang Senke Samdrap, he who has subdued the evil forces and buried treasure and rocks and snow mountains in holy places of Tibet, shows kindness to the people of the future dark age. I supplicate you, Dorje Trollo. I supplicate you, Ujjain Padmakara. The following 4 lines were composed by Karma Pakshi. Hum, hum, hum. You are the Lord of Yidams and the conqueror of the whole of existence and of all apparent phenomena. You have subdued the viciousness of the Mongol emperor and overcome the energy of fire, water, poison, weapons, and evil forces. I supplicate you, O Karma Pakshi. The next 4 lines were written by Sharmapa. Hum, hum, hum. You who fulfill all wishes and are Lord of centerless space, you who shine with kind and luminous light, I supplicate you, Tsuperpa. The next 4 lines were written by Mikyo Dorje himself. Hum, hum, hum. Ah, Mikyo Dorje fills the whole of space. Ho, he is the Vajra joy which sends out luminous light. Hum, he is the energy of music and Lord of messengers. Om, he is the wrathful action which cleanses all impurities. The next 4 lines were written by an unknown author. Hum, hum, hum. Seeing the Bodhisattva Rangchung Dorje is like discovering the wish-fulfilling gem. He removes the poverty of oneself and others. He is a source of all that is needed. I supplicate his wisdom body. The next 6 lines were composed by Guru Rinpoche. Hum, hum, hum. Whatever occurs in the realm of the mind, such as thoughts of the 5 poisons, one should neither lead nor follow. Just let it remain in its true state and reach the liberation of Dharmakaya. I supplicate the Guru of self-liberated perfect insight. Chant the triple hum as mantra over and over again. Then by uniting your mind with the thoughts of the ocean of siddhas, their overwhelming presence and blessings are felt in great joy and emptiness. The visualization becomes just a mixture of colors. The dazzling rays of the 5 wisdoms are bright red, deep green, clear blue, pure yellow, and bright white. They are not static, but oscillating all the time, and they fill the whole of heaven and earth. They are so bright that they are hard to look at. At the same time, you can see a rain of Amrita and many colored flowers, and you lose the clear-cut concept of here and there and become dizzy. Now you become the Lord of the Trikaya realm and receive the simple and ultimate Abhisheka. You become one with the body, speech, and mind of the siddhas. Hum 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 Next, recite the following verse, composed by Mikyo Dorje. Hum, hum, hum. When the precious Guru approaches, the whole of space is filled with rainbow light. He sends out his emanations as messengers, and a roaring flame of blessing shoots into the sky. Various meditation experiences and flashes of insight occur. Oh, the great Guru, I follow your example. Please approach and grant your blessings. Bless this place. Give us the 4 Abhishekas and clear all obstacles. Grant us the ultimate and relative cities. Hum, hum, hum. Next follow the verses of the Great Leap into the void of panoramic awareness. Hum, hum, hum. In the mandala of Mahamudra shines moonlight pure and all-pervading. All apparent phenomena are the play of the mind. All qualities are complete within the mind. I, the yogi, am fearless and free from occupations. Hopes and fears of achieving and abstaining are all used up. I awaken into the wisdom with which I was born, and compassionate energy arises without pretense. Hey, ho, the self-existing Rishi. The Siddha enjoys himself with great simplicity. Ah, ah, ah. End by chanting these auspicious verses. The wisdom flame sends out a brilliant light. May the goodness of Dorje Trollo be present. Karma Pakshi, Lord of Mantra, King of Insight, may his goodness too be present. To Samkhyampa, the primeval Buddha, beyond all partiality, may his goodness be present. Mikyo Dorje, Lord of boundless speech, may his goodness be present here. Rangjung Dorje, faultless single eye of wisdom, may his goodness be present. The Kagyu Guru, the light of whose wisdom is a torch for all beings, may his goodness be present. The ocean of wish-fulfilling yidams who accomplish all actions, may their goodness be present. The protectors who plant firm the victorious banner of Dharma, may their goodness be present. May the goodness of the great mind mandala of Mahamudra be present. After practicing this sadhana, enjoy the presence of the Guru and the energy of compassion and devotion. It is hoped that this sadhana will be practiced by those who are prepared to see the living Dharma within. The sadhana will help to purify the present degenerate state of philosophy and meditation practice. It will help bring peace in the warfare waged by materialism. In the Copper Mountain Cave of Taksong, the mandala created by the Guru, Padma's blessing entered my heart. I am the happy young man from Tibet. I see the dawn of Mahamudra and awaken into true devotion. The Guru's smiling face is ever present. On the pregnant Dakini tigress takes place the crazy wisdom dance of Karma Pakshi Padmakara, uttering the sacred hum sound of hum. His flow of thunder energy is impressive. The Dorje and Purba are the weapons of self-liberation. With penetrating accuracy, they pierce the heart of spiritual pride. One's faults are so skillfully exposed that no mask can hide the ego, and one can no longer conceal the anti-dharma which pretends to be dharma. Through all my lives may I continue to be the messenger of dharma and listen to this song of the King of Jnanas. May I lead the life of a bodhisattva. This sadhana was written in 1968 by Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche at Taksong in Bhutan, where about 1100 years ago Guru Rinpoche meditated and manifested in the wrathful form known as Dorje Trollo. The sadhana was completed on the auspicious full moon day of September 6, 1968. It was translated into English at Thimphu by Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche and Kunga Dawa, it's Richard Arthur, on September 7, 1968. If you have the PDF, there are 2 afterwords which I recommend reading. The first is entitled Joining Energy in Space, Comments on the Sadhana of Mahamudra. The page numbers there are 310 through from the selected writings and through 314, and then also from the selected writings there is starting at page 317, the selected writings of Trungpa, there is a hum and approach to mantra. So the understanding of the hum, if you want to have a deeper understanding of the triple hum, 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 which we were reciting as the mantra of Mahamudra. That's pages 317 and through 320. And yeah, if there are any unresolved issues, maybe we can discuss them next time. I don't think it's necessary to read these two essays aloud, but if you have them on your PDF, you should read them. Today is also the death anniversary of Allen Ginsberg. So if you have a heart connection to Allen Ginsberg, as I do, he was my teacher, please read the poems which are most meaningful to you. I suggest Hal, a supermarket in California, Kaddish in memory of his mother, whichever speaks to you, or Vortex Sutra, whichever is most meaningful to you. And today's also Easter Sunday. So I recommend that everyone read Sunday Morning by Wallace Stevens. That is the poem that everyone should read on Easter Sunday, and to contemplate and meditate on its contents. Other poems which should be read today include Philip Larkin's "And April Sunday Brings the Snow," although it's not snowing right now, but if for reflection on chilly weather in April, yeah, perhaps we'll read that next week. Okay. I think that's enough for now. So let's just sort of meditate on that and breathe and be true to whatever came up with there. Okay. Until we meet again next time, this has been Art is the Church of God the Creator. This is Greg Muna, aka Master Mu, signing off, wishing you a great week, and for those who are observing, a great holidays, Passover and Easter, in any tradition.